And welcome back, everyone. Hope y'all enjoyed our last episode where we built a lovely little hotel that overlooked a massive cave that had jaws, like the one to my left here. Well, to my right, I guess, if you're looking for my player's right hand where the fireworks are. Looks like a little snake mouth right there. But, anyways, where am I right now? This is that building I briefly showed in the last episode, and well, maybe I should explain it a bit more. This here is the spawn chunks of this entire world. So, like any good plan, things that I'm going to need a lot of in the future or that are worth just having some redstone components where I can move around and don't have to worry about loading and unloading stuff should probably go in this area because it's open all the time. And so, one of those, and mind you, this is just the starting out version of it. We will upgrade this for sure later. But maybe you can hear those minecarts rattling around in the background and make an educated guess, but you'd be correct and say there's a super smelter in here. Maybe super is not the right word quite yet, but it does the job perfectly for what we need right now. And so in this old watermill looking build we made, there's the little water wheel way back here. This is just where we decided to put it. Now, what inspired us to make this a water mill? I'm not sure, but that's what I chose. There was a lovely little waterfall there already, so took inspirations from the beautifully generated terrain already and just made a water wheel. Water wheel, water wheel. Ooh, say that several times fast. But if we go through here, break that out, we can come up to the second point, which is just a bunch of trapdoors. But on the other side of those trapdoors is where I'm starting to build a kelp farm. And so again, this is always loaded, so these will grow and produce more and more, which then, sorry, let's fly around a little better. Come into the middle here, go underground, and then get shot up through that bubble vader we used as our little elevator up here, and fed into the super smelter, so we automatically get just some fuel for that thing. And so I missed really covering this in the last episode, so I just thought I'd catch y'all up, show y'all everything there before, you know, we started with anything new. And boy, I hope you can see it already, because if not, it makes me a little sad. But I've flattened most of this upper area here between the hotel we built and the area we've been living. And well, I've made it into a nice little terrain. Now, as uninspired as this might be, this lovely high up meadow, I've decided it's going to be a neighborhood called the Heights of our massive city we're going to eventually build. And yes, Heights really is an inspired name. I'm out of rockets. But I think it'll suit this place perfectly for now. It's in a high point. We're going to make it nice and ritzy, fancy, all that good stuff as we run through here and fix things up. And so, like I did with the lake, I just skipped some of the more boring parts of changing the terrain to fit the city I want to build. Now we still have a lot to do. Hopefully nothing attacks me while I'm in free cam. There's these caves we got to cover up. We got to find a way to even get a reasonable path up to here. Right now I'm leaning towards this area. We'll kind of snake it up the hill as it slowly comes up here. And that can be like the main cart path, but I want to make an interesting little feature that'll go kind of like in the center here. It'll be a tall spire tower that'll probably go not quite as high up Y level as our lovely little hotel here, but it'll come up above the plateau we're going to be sitting on right here at 137. But it's going to come up here, and then there's going to be a diagonal bridge that connects it. So there's like a little spire. I'm not sure what the purpose in the city would be other than to just build a spire, but we're going to be building a spire. If I haven't said that word enough, spire, spire, spire. Anyways, so to do that, we're going to need to gather a lot more materials. I want to do it in a darker tone than this, and more fit that build that we can't see that's past the little iron farm here. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to get more andesite, possibly some cobblestone, stone, but I kind of want to start planning it in tough. I think tough will be the right scale while still adding a little color. I don't have any on me, but tough has like a slight green or brown in it rather than just gray. And so I think that'll be a perfect little piece to add on to what would be otherwise a completely stone monument. So let me successfully run away from some spiders, sleep, and then we'll come back hopefully with some more concrete plans on what I want to build there. I also have no food. That's lovely. But we'll be back in the blink of an eye. All right, we're back and it's the daytime and I successfully managed to sleep. But what we've done here is we've more or less laid out where the roads are going to go. And I first did it in some wool, so I made a small little wool farm. I might have mentioned that earlier. But right now, it's just the basic design for it. So these start off as just 4 wide here, but as you can see on these, sometimes they dip in more, or sometimes they pull out more. So we got 5 long here, while it's only 3 long here. So, like I said, it's a sidewalk, but it's not set with your property has to start behind it kind of thing. This is the post-Gothic era. There are no such regulations. So with that in mind, I have built our first little piece that's going to slot right here in between these 2 rows. Now, my original plan, like I said last time, was to make this into like an overlook park. Then I thought, wouldn't you rather overlook to the a big old lake here, watch just the waves come in, animals all around it? I don't know. That's what I'd rather watch than just more buildings because it's going to be pretty heavily populated down there. Now, that's not what our focus is going to be these next couple of episodes. We're focusing just up top here. But still, there's going to be a city down here. So the park just makes more sense on the other side of the road there. Plus, it's a little bigger, allows me to actually play around with some more shapes and sizes. And we can potentially even have a waterfall over here. Now, I know we have one right here, but why can't we have a small little path that trickles along until it falls into there as well? Maybe right here, because there's a natural indent I made in the earth. But then I also want to carve this pretty farther down, give it like a V shape where the water has slowly carved it out over time and is forming like a canyon that pulls back all the way to this spring. But that will have to come much, much later. Right now, I want to focus on getting this side of the street done. And that's going to start with a plan buildings I have here. Just going to count it out, see how many blocks I have to go, and then I'll have to gather a ton of resources. So let me plan that out real quick, and I'll come back, show you the plan, show you what we've got to get, and, well, hopefully, build a nice building. So I'll see you all in just a sec. All right, there you have it in the bottom right corner of my screen. You can see our long materials list. We're starting off with over 1,000 stripped oak wood. Got a lot of resources to grind and get. So, I guess without further ado, I'm going to go into grind mode, get all this, and bring y'all back with a lovely time lapse where we complete what all the grind was for. All right, I know I promised a time lapse right here, but unfortunately the first half of my build got corrupted, the replay file, and it is all my fault. I tried to go as long as I can without saving a replay, without leaving the game, and just build as much of these as I could in one sitting. And, well, this electricity is not my friend. After I'd finished the second of the 4 buildings, the server, my computer, everything crashed. And why? Because the power went out here. I lost power midday for no reason. There's no severe weather, there's nothing of the sorts. Just no power all of a sudden. Which sucks, because now you can't enjoy probably a good 3 or 4 minutes of the time lapse in terms of the actual sped up pace. So I'll give you all the second best thing I can. A shorter time lapse that shows the finishing of the build, and then I'll give you all a more detailed tour of what I've done there. So yeah, let's just hit that shorter time lapse. I'm sorry, it's not the long one, you can't see the whole thing, but I hope y'all still enjoy this part. And in the meantime, I'll do everything I can to recover that. And if I do, maybe I'll put it out there as a short for y'all to enjoy. But let's just hop into a time lapse, enjoy the parts of the build that isn't corrupted, and we'll go from there. All right, and just like that, we have our 4 lovely new buildings. Now, let's go into free cam real quick and we can get a good view of them next to the hotel here. They're significantly taller, but the main difference is the hotel has a back. All 4 sides are covered, whereas these are hollow. No backs. Mobs spawning everywhere. So, we still have work to do in that regard there, but they look fantastic with how they are. I worked as much as I could, giving it like depth to these, because I feel like what mainly is something in Victorian, not Victorian, Gothic, pre-industrial buildings is that depth. Like the windows tend to be sunken in, there's columns everywhere supporting stuff, and that's what we've done here. So I realized while doing this that it took me forever to gather all the materials for this. Oops, let's sleep real quick. Okay. It took me forever to gather all these materials. So I think I'm going to spend a couple days, maybe even the next episode, dedicated to building farms so that it's easier to just gather materials. Because I think it took me 4 whole days to get everything for this. And this isn't even the biggest type of build section I want to do. And really, it shouldn't take that long. Basalt, I had to go mine it all. Blackstone, mined it all. Wood, chopped down all the trees. Diorite, had to mine it all. I guess there's not. Ooh, there is. You can use quartz to get diorite from stone. So yeah, I guess there is a way to automatically do all of this, including the bricks. You can make a blast chamber from clay, but we'll have to scale it right to where we do just enough to actually grind for it ourselves, but not too much to where I spend the next year or so building farms. So, this is where we are for now. I enjoy them. I will add the black concrete behind them so we don't just have those hollow windows that you can see all the way through to the blue sky in the background. But yeah, looks great, and I think it's a good next step in the evolution of this road. I do have a couple more buildings I want to work on this episode and put here, but I'm not going to do another time lapse. I'm just going to bring you in as I do those. So for now, I'll talk to you again in just 1 second when I have hopefully all the materials gathered for the next building. So, like you just saw in the time lapse, and like I just said, it took me forever to gather these resources. And since the time lapse isn't as long as I thought it was when I recorded the previous clip, and I really want to make this video the right length, I'm going to show you something else I've been working on getting ready for the next episode. And that's over here. You probably saw it earlier, but this is just me planning out one of the next builds. It's going to be a massive domed cathedral, but it's not really like a church. It's kind of hard to explain. But you'll recognize the type of thing it is once it's built. For now, we're just planning it out, seeing everything goes. But underneath here, in what used to be a divot in the land that led to a lake, I've decided to put some blast chamber farms. Now, right now, it is just cobblestone, because that's the easiest one for me to have built. And we have a lot more plans of what to put here. I want to put a basalt generator in here as well that feeds into the same blast chamber. And then I'm going to have a lava farm, because the final thing I want to add in this progression of it is going to be a super smelter in here. And I want to do that so we can effectively have 3 buttons here where we either hit the note block and we get cobblestone, we hit the note block and get stone, which will reroute the output of the cobblestone into the super smelter, hence why we need a lava farm, so we can AFK there and collect lava buckets to feed back into the system. And then a third button that we can hit and get basalt out of here. So I spent a decent amount of time in a redstone world trying to design this. I definitely used inspiration from Ilmango for how to make this blast chamber, but I tried to learn what he did to make my own versions of stuff. And so I noticed at some points he had a vertical version of this that would push the tree logs down to be fed into a blast chamber. So I incorporated that into what we have here. And I'll run it here in a second. But I've also moved that same thing into the basalt up there. So there's no mining of the basalt. It's just all pushed into the blast chamber and collected for us, since we can. So let's hit this real quick and we'll see the whole thing turn on and how it works. So you can see how it pushes through there. They come by, just layer through, they alternate. They get pushed around into here. You just saw it there real quick. They get pushed down all at the same time. And every so often, whenever these two line up and a signal goes all the way through to here, the TNT gets dropped straight down. And since it's well timed, oh, actually I saw the TNT go there. Let's watch it. Right as this pushes, it explodes. Now I haven't exactly counted them, but according to Ilmango, it produces about 240 cobblestone per explosion, which I think is pretty good. And there's no issue stopping it. The only issue I had when designing this was in this area right here is where the basalt is going to come in. It's going to come in here and here to be fed into the same size like the cobblestone. And occasionally, whenever you shut the cobblestone off, there's another block waiting here since it's splitting them up between the two. And if that block's there, the basalt doesn't work properly the way I designed it. And I'm sure there's a way around it to fix it, but I'm not really a redstone guy. So the fact that I got this done and was able to cobble this together, I am very happy with. Again, so much thanks to Ilmango's video about his blast chamber and all the other videos he's put out in general on redstone stuff helped me here. I think I even watched one of his other less popular videos of weird redstone components you can use, and I used a couple of them here and there throughout. I'm pretty sure the basalt generator. But yeah, that's what we'll be working on, is getting all of those together, building this whole system, nicer storage for all of them, obviously a sorted storage. Right now, it is sorted, but They're all just cobblestone. Well, I can't click it. There's glass in the way, but they're all just cobblestone right now. And I'm not sure I want to keep it there. But I am a builder, and I hope y'all watching me enjoy building. So as part of it, we're also going to build something to make this farm look pretty. So that you don't see the blast chamber, you don't see all the water streams, these iron blocks I'm standing on, anything like that. And I thought since we're in a natural kind of hole underground where, let's go into free cam real quick, where there was a lake right here, it gave me feelings of like a dripstone cave or maybe like a hidden oasis through a cave. So from our build way up here, I'm not going to actually go up there, but from our build way up there, I'm going to build like a snaking cave that comes down and connects to different points because eventually I want to expand this to include trees, concrete, just anything that can go in a blast chamber I want here. And I want different paths in the cave to take you to those. Like this main path where the control room is also going to be where the nether portal is, probably sitting somewhere around here. But then you'll also stand like right about here to do all of the lava buckets, and then maybe you want to do a tree, so you'll follow the cave, twist and turns up a little bit, and end up, I don't know, let's say right here where the tree farm is, and you'll stand there planting the saplings, and they'll feed all of that into here. So lots of stuff to do, lots of plans, not sure how much of it I'll get done in the next week or so before I want to put out the next episode, but I'll try and get as far as I can. But that's the general plan. Basically, make my resource gathering easier. And yeah, I put too much time into gathering resources. I think I shot for too many stars, tried to go over the moon, however you want to say it, too quickly. And well, it was exhausting gathering all those. So let's hope my design is fruitful, works out and everything, and we'll have a nice start to a small area that we will farm things. So with that, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you'll have an amazing rest of the week, rest of the day, rest of the weekend, whatever time you're watching this at. And I'll talk to y'all again soon, where we build, hopefully, what we'll be able to call the ultimate blast chamber. See y'all. Bye.